Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Through the Journey with Jennifer. Let's talk about something that many of us struggle with. And when I say us, I mean like moms and wives. Choosing ourselves without guilt. Um, if you're like me, maybe you felt moments when putting yourself first felt wrong, you know? Maybe you felt guilty or even a little selfish. But the truth is, prioritizing yourself is essential and you deserve it. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to embrace self prioritization guilt free. I used to volunteer myself um, for things. And let me explain. I would get a phone call or have a conversation with a family member or a friend, and I would just offer to step in to help, you know, um, without them asking, you know, or sometimes I even knew by having the conversation that was their way of asking, you know, for help or um, some assistance. And that's part of who I am, you know. I always want to help other people, but I think I was helping people so much and in a way that it was a disservice to myself. And I think that's where one of my first boundaries um, I had to set with myself, and I had to learn how to say no. Um, and I also had to learn to listen and to let them ask if it was something that they needed or wanted. Um, and that will open the door for me to say yes or no. And I also had to learn that saying no was okay. You know, I realized that by saying no, I was able to pour into my own cup. And by pouring into my own cup, I was able to show up for others when I was ready. Not out of force or feeling obligated. And choosing myself in that way did not mean I loved my family or friends or whatever any less, or that I wasn't committed. It just meant that I was honoring my needs, my passion, and my well being first. And letting go of the guilt that I felt by saying no was a journey. And it was one that involved a lot of self compassion and sometimes even repeated practice. Many women are most likely to experience the guilt when prioritizing themselves, and that's due to a lot of the social conditioning um, and even internalized expectations. The guilt is real. The guilt that you feel for prioritizing yourself is real, but it's also a sign that you are breaking those old patterns and you're setting boundaries for yourself, healthy boundaries, which are important. We always hear choosing yourself isn't selfish. And I think of it like this: if your energy, your joy, and fulfillment are depleted, you have less to give to the people and the projects that you love. By caring for yourself first, you are actually enriching your relationships in your life. So I got you covered because I had 3 ways to choose yourself without guilt. So the first one is reframe that mindset. Instead of thinking I'm being selfish, try saying I'm honoring my needs so I can show up fully. Number 2, start small. Take one intentional moment each day for you. For me, that's journaling. However, I don't always feel like journaling every day. So I make time to meditate, to clear my mind, and just rest in the moment. Number 3, we got to set those boundaries, but we have to set them confidently. Saying no doesn't require an apology, it's a statement of self respect. And I'm learning that saying no is a complete sentence. No. you know, all jokes aside, guilt is normal at first, but with practice, choosing yourself will feel empowering, not wrong. So, what's one way you're choosing yourself this week without guilt? As I always ask, share it in the comments, tag me, because I want to celebrate this journey of choosing you, choosing me. I want to celebrate this journey together. I want us to help one another see and learn that it's okay to choose yourself. So let's embrace choosing ourselves one step at a time, one day at a time, because it is transformative.